For the match there, UEFA Champions League for the week. Well, we just have to quickly also update you concerning the Madrid Open Tennis Championship taking place in Madrid, where the women version of it, also the finalists actually have emerged there. Well, let's talk about the review of the week. You saw there Borussia Dortmund versus PSG in the UEFA Champions League semi-final first leg. It ended 1-0 in favor of the German team at the Signal Iduna Park, where they were able to win that game against PSG. A lot of misses there coming from PSG players, but right now second leg is coming up. Will they be able to do it? Well, the players will have to answer with their feet there. Well, for the second match that has to do with the one they played first, that's Bayern versus Real Madrid, it ended 2-2. It was a draw, and the second leg will be a bomb over there in Madrid by the time they meet the home of the Los Merengues, where it will be happening live. Well, and also during the week, a big one coming from Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, appointing Finidi George as the substantive coach of the Super Eagles. Finidi George was assistant to Jose Bizarro when he was around, but right now he's now the manager, as they call it in the EPL or over there in Europe. He's now the coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Well, he will be the one to see them through the qualifiers for World Cup. And also, he has been talking that Eagles will qualify if the necessary supports are given to the entire team, calling for support from NFF and also calling for support from Nigerians across to see how they can make sure this team, Super Eagles, triumph and also make it to the Mundial in 2026. Well, Finidi George, we wish him the best as he runs through all the activities that have to do with Super Eagles. Hopefully, he will get it right. 2 matches he has been at least been able to mount for Nigeria. One against Mali, he lost, and one against Ghana, he won. 18 years after we've been trailing them, and this time around he was able to break that particular record. Those 2 activities was the high point for the week. It has to do with sporting moment. That has to do with the review of the week there. Well, for UEFA Champions League, second leg coming up next week, and also for Finidi, we wish him the best. Now let's cross over and talk about activities for this weekend. We'll be starting with basketball, where we talk about the NBA and also the BL Africa taking place in Senegal, the Sahara Conference. Although those 2 will come on your way with Abdurrahman Shitu. Join us from Mina, where we'll be talking together with concerning this particular sport of basketball. We'll be starting with the NBA. Abdurrahman Shitu, good to have you on the show. Okay, Abraman Shitu. Okay, well, we need to. Okay, we just have to quickly have you doing this with us. Well, we appreciate your time joining us. Okay, right now, let's have you, please. Kindly unmute yourself there so that we can hear you. Okay, while we're waiting for Abraman Shitu to join us, let's start with the NBA. Okay.
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Let's have you. Good to have you on the show. Weekend Sport on Trust TV.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so the NBA playoff is on, and it's still a battle for some clubs. Games have been played, and in fact, earlier today, let me quickly take some results while you analyze those results quickly. Let's start with the result of the day in the NBA. Let's have the result there, please. As we talk about the NBA games that have been played, LA Clippers. They actually fought hard in that particular game where they lost against the team they faced. Well, Dallas Mavericks right now are really showing a lot of energy. They won that game 114-101, where Luka Doncic was able to score 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 13 assists. And you look at this particular game, Abdurrahman, it was a tough one, but Dallas Mavericks, they've done it 4-2 in the series.
Yes, for Dallas Maverick, they swept the LA Clippers. Even with the LA Clippers experienced set of players, when you look at Paul George, you look at Kawhi Leonard, you look at Russell Westbrook. These are 3 players who are some of the superstars in the NBA. But when you stack a team, it doesn't necessarily translate into winning a championship. So for the Dallas Mavericks, since 2010 that they were able to win 2010, 2011, or 2011 specifically when they won the NBA championship last, they've been struggling, but the team right now has gotten their mojo back. They brought in Kyrie Irving, who played some of the best defense in his life in this tournament, or in this series rather. And right now, they have moved to the second round, eliminating LA Clippers. For LA Clippers, they have all the firepower, they have experienced players, but that couldn't translate into them moving into the second round. But for the Dallas Mavericks, congratulations to them. Right now, they are moving into the next round of the tournament, and we're facing off against OKC, that Oklahoma City Thunders, with another young side as well.
Okay, looking at that result there, Los Angeles Clippers against Dallas Mavericks. Now, let's look at the second game that was also played. You have Orlando Magic. They showed their colors in this encounter. Well, 103 against 96, and it was a tough one. Paulo Banchero, 27.8 rebound and 4 assists. 3-3. This particular series seems to be tougher because they tied now.
Yes, you can see that the teams finished both fourth and fifth. Nothing much to separate them in the regular season. And right now, they are bringing a lot of exciting basketball to the viewers across the world. For that team, Paulo Banchero came in and he has done well, forcing a game 7 in that series. So right now, for LA Clippers, right now, they and their superstars, Donovan Mitchell, will try to go back and strategize, and hopefully they can come back and win, because winner takes all in this tournament, when in this series. So when you win this game, you'll be moving to the next round. That's the second round of the NBA playoffs. So it's a good game. It's a good matchup for those who are neutral, who are not supporting any of the teams.
Well, Cavaliers versus Orlando Magic there, 103 to 96. Now let's look at the NBA playoffs now. Looking at the stand of the Eastern and Western Conference right now. For Western Conference, Thunder against Pelicans, 4-0 there. For Clippers against Mavericks, 2-4. You have the Eastern Conference. You have Celtic against Heat, 4-1. The business is done there. For Cavaliers and Orlando Magic, it's a tie already. And you also look at Timberwolves against Phoenix Suns. The business has been done. Timberwolves getting through. And you have Pacers and Milwaukee Bucks. Pacers did it 4-2. It's actually still one, a confirmed one there. Nuggets, Denver Nuggets 4-1 against Los Angeles Lakers. And New York Knicks against 76ers. Also, the business has been done here. Well, Shitu, you look at all this in the Eastern and the Western conferences, and it's a tough one. But I think Cavaliers and Orlando Magic remaining having a tie there. Others are settled. Shitu, are you there?
Yeah, the network is breaking. Can you come again?
Okay, talking about the standing right now concerning the Western and Eastern conferences now. For Cavaliers and Magic, those are the ones that are actually on tie, but the rest have been settled. Knicks 4-2 against 76ers, Nuggets against Lakers 4-1, Timberwolves Suns 4-0. You have Pacers against Bucks 4-2, and also Celtic against Heat, also ended 4-1 in the series. Okay.
Series overall, just the Clippers and the settle. Sorry, the game that has not been settled yet. They are moving on to the second round, and the second round fixtures will be an interesting one for every team participating. You can see the highlights here, which is Orlando Magic and Cleveland, which has not been settled. So this is the only game where they are still in the first round. But for other matches, and for the Bucks as well, the Bucks, Giannis was injured, as well as Damian Lillard was injured, and the other supporting cast, they tried their best to force that tournament into that series into maybe a game 6 or 7, but it couldn't happen because the firepower of the Indiana Pacers was just too much for them to handle. But overall, Denver Nuggets still looks like a team. The defending champions still look like a team everyone should look at. But facing off against the Timberwolves, that would be a cracker of a game, a long game that could get to a game 7. So it is a balanced game. Both teams have offensive power that they could upset the second team or the other team. So it will be a very good matchup for those who are neutrals as well, because if you're not supporting any of the teams, you watch the game with a lot of excitement. So we'll just get to see what will happen. So, but for the NBA right now, this season, most of the teams are coming on with their A game, and they're trying to win the championship. But for the Nuggets, they are the defending champions now. So let's see what they can do.
Okay, during the race, this first round of the playoffs, which team actually stand out for you?
Yeah, definitely it has to be the Timberwolves because nobody gave them a chance against the Phoenix Suns. But we saw what they did. Their starman Edwards have come in to play some exciting basketball, fearless basketball. Even though Kevin Durant is his idol, he went on face off against Kevin Durant, played his best basketball, was able to influence the Timberwolves to get into the second round. So for the Timberwolves right now, they are a team coming up, but they will be facing off against the defending champions. But there are no pushovers as well, so it will be a balanced game. But for me, I see a game seven in that tournament or in that series. Rather, I see a game seven in that series.
Okay, now let's look at the players now. A particular player, Kyrie Irving, has been fantastic. And also look at Doncic. You can't take anything away from them. Look like Jokic. Out of these three, who are you looking at to get it as the MVP, possibly?
Yeah, it depends on which of the team gets to the final because the finals MVP will be determined by the both teams who play in the that's in the main NBA finals. So right now they are still playing in their conferences. We've not even got into the Western Conference final or the Eastern Conference final. It's just the second round. So let's see what will happen after this. But most of those players are playing some of the best basketball of their career. When you talk of Kyrie Irving, with all the issues he had previously at Brooklyn Nets, he has been able to come back and play some of the best basketball. So the defense he played earlier this morning, he played some of the best defense in his career, and he was very tired. So a lot of people would be surprised at seeing Kyrie Irving being that serious. But the thing is that he has won the NBA championship before with Cleveland. So it will be a nice one for him to actually go back and try to win it again, because what better way for him to win? Because the first one, people said he won it at the back off of LeBron James. So if he's able to play with Luka Doncic and be able to get to the finals and win the NBA championship, then it will be that yes, he did this on his own. LeBron James to actually get a ring.
Okay, now some heavyweight basketballers have been at least removed from this tournament so far. The likes of Golden State Warriors star man, you can't take anything away from him. Really, in fact, a lot of fans of that team are not too happy that Stephen Curry is out. And also, you look at Antetokounmpo is also out. LA Lakers now, also their main star man, the likes of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, all out, Durant, all of them. So far, it seems this season is going to be very, very interesting.
Absolutely, it's going to be an interesting season. And not forgetting that the Lakers as well is sacked their coach on Friday. That was yesterday after the Denver Nuggets. So he has been sacked right now. The manager or the coach of LA Lakers has been sacked by the hierarchy there at LA.
Okay, now we have to cross over. Let's just leave the NBA a bit. We'll talk about Africa now as we talk about the BL League. Quickly, let's talk about the Basketball African League taking place for the Sahara Conference in Senegal, where to be coming up. The Nile Conference is also coming up in Egypt, but we focus on the West African side, where we have our own team, Rivers Hoopers. Rivers Hoopers will be playing in this competition, and they have their own schedule starting from today. Well, they'll be playing against AS Douanes of Senegal, while they play also on Sunday. Well, all the teams, about 4 of them in the same group, they'll be playing. Well, for Rivers Hoopers, a tough one. Let's look at the rosters of these players that have been at least that are representing Rivers Hoopers there. For BA 2024, they have the guys Will Perry, Kelvin Amayo, Johnson Anaye, Mustafa Oyebanji, Abel Ofia, Adokie Iyaye. For the forwards, you have Divine AK, Michael Dramola, John Wilkins, Onyebuchi Nwewu, Victor Koko. Centers, you have Peter Olesemeka and David Ugona Ike. They are coming from the media officer of that particular team. That's Queen Mosep. Right now, the team are battle ready to see what they will do against AS Douanes tonight. Abdurrahman, it's a big one for our team, Rivers Hoopers, to face the like of AS Douanes and all the APR and the likes in this competition. Do you think they can withstand the heat from all the other teams?
Yes, for AS Douanes, they are a big side, a top side in that tournament. So, and they are playing at home as well. So it will be a difficult fixture.
Yeah, well, difficult fixture.
That is playing at home. So they need to be very, very up and doing in that fixture.
Okay, talking about
30 p.m. Nigerian time.
Okay, well, right now, let's have at least a moment with Rivers Hoopers players who are battle ready ahead of the game. They actually spoke to the press concerning their feelings about towards these games. Let's have it. Rivers Hoopers interview.
Sincerely speaking, it's been great. Like, I'm really enjoying myself. PL Advance and the media day has been great, and I really love it based on the fact that we don't get something like this back home. Coming to see that, yeah, okay, it makes me feel like, okay, right now I'm playing basketball, and so.
So you're not playing basketball?
No, I play basketball before, but right now you see more advanced stuff, and it's really, really nice. Speaking, like, the players are really good. At least this is the first time I'm actually seeing good foreigners that are ready to interact, play. We joke a lot. Play, like, the team bonding is just so nice. Like, we all are really as one. Like, you can't actually differentiate if these are pros or something, because we all are just together. We do everything together, and which is nice. It's getting my mindset to the game, trying to see what I can do to help the team win, bring out my A game, put my defense intact to just play so we can win. Okay, I'm just taking it slow, beat by beat, like getting ready for the game, putting everything together to take the first game, like, and I'm trying to put in my best. I'm just trying to get myself prepared in my mind, mentally, physically, so like I can give it my best in the first game. Like, this is my.
Rivers Hoopers players there, Oyebanji and Anaye, expressing themselves concerning preparation ahead of their game against AS Douanes in the BL African League taking place in Senegal. Well, a tough one is going to be, according to Abraman Shitu, who has been with us, the arrival of Nigerian team, the Rivers Hoopers supporters. All right, already they are in Senegal for this competition. And you can see the mix of some foreign players there. And according to Anaye, that is so happy that the foreign players are battle ready. They are mixing up with them well, and they are ready for this competition. Well, Abdurrahman, Rivers Hoopers, from the way it is, they seem to be very ready now for this competition.
Yes, they are prepared, unlike the first time they went to that tournament. They played 4 games. They lost 3 of the games, winning just 1 of the games. So they are 1 of 3 in this tournament. So hopefully they could rewrite history and come back stronger, because I've played for teams who have done well in the ball, like Amayo and Will Perry. They've played for other teams as well. So they are coming with a wealth of experience who played for the Tigers during the last qualifiers. He showed the kind of player he is, and as well, the Rivers Hoopers coach was part of that coaching crew, so he liked what he saw. And right now, he has brought Divine AK. They've been able to recruit him into their team. So we'll see what they will be. This is a more better squad, a more experienced side than the first time. The first time they went, they only had some couple of players coming in to help the team, but the team couldn't do well as well. So let's see what they can do this time around. Hopefully they could learn from the experience, from the some of the mistakes they did in their first year, which was their first time, but going there for the second time right now to bring in better performance, and hopefully they can be able to make things happen for themselves, because moving to the next round should be their priority. But right now they are in a very tight corner. They have US Monastir, who is a defending champion, and as well who has played in semi-final of 3 of the last 4 tournaments of the ball. So it's a very difficult one. You have AS Douanes, who are the host and played in the finals of last season, and as well a team out there from Rwanda as well is playing in that tournament as well. So you have heavyweight of teams, but what the Rivers Hoopers should do is get 1 or 2 wins and you qualify into the next round. But it is a very difficult. No match is easy in the ball. That's in the Basketball African League. But what they have to do is try to win your first game. So once you win your first game, you'll be able to concentrate on playing the other games. So once they try to win their game tonight, then things will go their way. But it is a very difficult group for them. But hopefully they will be able to do it, because for the roster they have players who have wealth of experience playing on the international basketball scene.
Okay, talking about that particular roster now, let's look at that roster together, because you look at these players. I think right now they have about 2 foreign players in that team. We saw Wilkins there in that particular team there. They have 2 of them, and you saw the interview where Anai was saying he's happy that the players who actually the foreign players are mixing up well with them, and they are really gelling ahead of this particular heavy game or tough game against AS Douanes of Senegal. Look at John Wilkins and Will Perry, a guard and also a forward joining the Rivers Ubers team. The inclusion of these two players, I'm sure, will actually spell much more positive ways for them to win games.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you look at those players, like for Will Perry, he is one of those players who have experience on the ball. He is one of the most improved or one of the most experienced players who won matches for a lot of big teams out there in the ball. As well, John Wilkins as well is another experienced player who has played for other teams as well. So it will be good if they could come out and help this team. Because when you look at the roster, it is a roster that is good and as well balanced, pretty balanced. Because for the rule of BAL, you would have like 5 international players or 5 players coming to join your team. Then you would have as well like 6 players as well from the team that's qualified from the continental or from the country participation. That's from your country participation. That's the main team coming from your home side. You have 6 players. Then you have additional 1 player who is coming from the NBA Africa Academy out there in Kenya, in Senegal, to join up with the team. So for them, it will be a good tournament for them. Let's see what they can do. But winning their first game has to be the most important thing they need to do tonight. If they can pick this first win, then every other team that they want to face off will have that fear factor at the back of their minds that this team has beaten the host. So if you're able to beat the host in that first game, then you would have a little bit of breathing space, and you know that yes, you have some couple of opportunities because you've been able to pick that first win. So picking their first win has to be the most important thing for them tonight. If they are able to pick this win, then the competition will be an easy ride for them.
Well, we've been having actually a long one with Abraham Shitu join us from Mina, Niger State, to talk basketball from NBA to BAL African League taking place in Senegal Sahara Conference. Thank you so much, Abraham Shitu, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Adeni. Anytime. You're welcome.
Okay, well, a big one for Team Nigeria. That's Rivers Upas representing Nigeria there in the Sahara Conference of BAL African League, where all these star players are coming together to showcase their talent. For Rivers Upas, tonight is the night, according to Abraham Shitu. They need to win this game against home team AS Douanes. It's going to be tough. The home support will be there for AS Douanes, but they can do it. All they need to do is be focused and be determined not to be carried away with the boos or whatever is coming from the fans of AS Douanes. Well, they will still be facing APR of Rwanda and also Monastir of Tunisia, defending champion. It's a tough one for them, but they can actually scale through. Support coming from Rivers State government for that team in this competition, and also we just have to look at it alongside NBA playoffs, where all the teams are battered to see how they can go into the second round of the NBA playoffs. It's getting more interesting. Orlando Magic, well, they really fought their way through, and they want to try to see how they can make it to the second round there. Well, that's it concerning NBA. We cross over from NBA right now, and also basketball stories. Let's go straight to talk about tennis. Well, for tennis, well, it's a weekend of action coming from both men and women over there in Madrid. Madrid Open is a tournament that all the big guys play tennis across the globe are there right now. But the final is here. Concerning the women, Sabalenka will be facing Swiatek, while the men is going to be Rublev versus Gazima there. All these games coming up. But let's see what happens between Rybakina and also Elena for her to qualify to the final of this particular Madrid Open tennis.
And Aryna Sabalenka already off to an aggressive start, she said, following her quarter closer into the net. Well, they're expecting something of a power outage around the area of Manolo Santana Stadium, but it's Elena Rybakina short-circuiting the defending champions game and stomping all over Aryna Sabalenka. 6-1 in the opening set in just 24 minutes.
Water the courts and brush the courts.
Sure. Oh, brilliant.
So good.
So good indeed. They've closed it, but that's not the case here. But nothing's going to dampen Elena Rybakina's progress to this point.
Well, I liked the previous forehand. I mean, she could have definitely...
And this might be the most deflating game of all. I mean, Sabalenka came out with purpose. She got...
Wow, that was exceptional. Pretty good start to the year.
You'd give a high grade to her performance thus far?
Yeah, A+.
Okay.
Wow. That's...
Professor Krabus doesn't give out A's easily, so A+ is even
A+.
high. But certainly. Oh, magnificent ball striking. And the... Wow. Rybakina misses the volley, and Sabalenka shows her steadiness. Down 3-1 in the second set. It'll go the distance to see who faces Swiatek in Saturday's Championship of Madrid.
But I also think, I mean, when you're playing against either one. Out there, wearing her heart on her sleeve, really just watching her, how much she wants this.
What a performance there for Sabalenka. Right now, she's ready for this particular game. Well, we should be facing another star player, Swiatek, in the final today. That's a big one for her. She really did well against Elena Rybakina there in that particular encounter taking place at the Madrid Open. The tennis championship over there in Spain. Well, let the winner actually take it all between Swiatek and Sabalenka. Tough one coming up. And for the men, it's going to be Rublev versus Olga Alisema, who will also be fighting on Sunday in the men's version of the Madrid Tennis Open, where they will be facing each other there. The likes of Carlos Alcaraz have been defeated by Rublev. Not forgetting the man who actually has been is called King of Clay. Rafael Nadal was also defeated in this competition. Just to give you updates concerning that, it's going to be a tough one this weekend between the four players who will be fighting to see who wins this year's final for men and also for women. Well, let's take you through that particular moment of fact, figure, and history in the world of sport. Did you know segment? figure and also history there in the world of sports, looking at those particular moments where you just have to remember all these activities in the world of sport. Well, we've been taking you through a lot of issues that have to do with sports. We talk about the NBA, the BL African League, and also we look at the review of the UEFA Champions League, the appointment of Finidi George as the Super Eagles coach, not forgetting the men and women in tennis. Well, right now we talk about football, and the round of 64 has been concluded. We look at the round of 32 fixtures in the President's Cup. The President's Cup is coming up, and the last Federation's Cup now. We're talking about the President Federation's Cup round of 32, where we talk about all the fixtures for this that will be coming up in the round of 32 there. For the round of 64, some teams have been defeated, while we have the 32 teams that will be fighting for honors now. Bender Insurance will be facing Wiki Tourists of Bauchi in their next game in the round of 32. EFCC of Abuja against Idel FC. ABS of Ilorin, they will be facing Kebbi United, as Zamfara United will be battling Aqua United. Gombe and El Kanemi Warriors will actually lock horns. Lobby Stars of Makurdi against Shooting Stars. What a match there. Ikorodu City against Coal City. Inter Lagos, they face Hamola International. Warrior Wolves against Kwara United. Abia Warriors against Sporting Supreme of Abuja. Nasarawa United will be taking on Sokoto United. While FC1 Rocket will face Eyimba. And you have Plateau United against Sunshine Stars. Rivers United, Niger Tornadoes, Katsina versus Bayelsa United, and Duma United. The battle of the northern teams will be facing Kano Pillars. Another tough one is going to be, well, those are the round of 32 fixtures that have been slated by the organizer of this competition. President Federation's Cup, the toughest and the oldest, where the mighty can actually be defeated by just a wink of an eye, and that's it. Well, a tough one between Rangers and Kano Pillars. Kano Pillars triumph on penalty shootout, and now they'll be facing Doma United in that tough duel that will be coming up in the round of 32 fixtures in the President's Federation's Cup there, to let you have a feel of what's going to be happening. It's always a very interesting one, because you look at the big teams being defeated by the smaller ones, and at times the smaller ones are walloped by the big teams. That's why Federation's Cup is always very interesting. You can't just predict who is going to stand or who will fall. Well, from there, let's cross over to the Nigerian National League, where Group A and B fixtures will be coming up for their last group matches. We look at those games in Conference A. We have Saturday matches. Beyond Limit will be taking on Abia Comet, while Dakada FC will play Smart City. Those games are coming up today by 3 p.m. And you have on Sunday, Madiba FC against Idel FC, Vandresa versus Thomas FC, Rovers, Calabar Rovers, they'll be facing 1472 FC, and on Monday, Ekiti United versus Coal City in Group A to complete their games now. Let's look at Group Conference C, rather B, where they actually play their own game, although Ijebu United and Gateway, that was actually done yesterday. Giant Brillas against FC1 Rocket, Crown FC International Lagos, Osun United takes on Trade Safe FC, while Solution FC will be battling with Warri Wolves on Sunday. Games, their last game for the group right now, talking about the Conference A and Conference B. For C and D, they actually completed theirs, and Super 6 is really, rather Super 8 is getting closer, where teams like Nasarawa United, El Kanemi Warriors, they've been able to scale through and waiting for the completion of the games from this group for Super 8 to come up. And Enugu is the place to be. The Coal City will be the place to where all the 8 teams will be jostling to see who will win the Nigerian National League for this season. All of them will gather in Enugu for this particular Super 8 there. Well, just to let you have a feel of those games coming up in the President's Cup, Federation's Cup rather, and also the Nigerian National League, the second tier of Nigerian Football League. Right now, we'll cross over to Europe to look at the matches coming up this weekend in the top 5 leagues over there.
yet again. It's a goal made in Liverpool, scored by Liverpool. That's a ball by Salah for Gakpo. And Luis... Oh yes, what a goal! What a finish that is! Luis Diaz is back with a bang. How about that? Alexander-Arnold and Gakpo, and there's a challenge which is going to be a penalty. Normally the coolest man in the house from the penalty spot, and Salah goes straight down the middle, and business is resumed as normal for Mohamed Salah from the penalty spot. That's Skip. Perisic. Oh, that's brilliant. He sat Van Dijk down, and Kane does score. Tottenham nearly scored a moment ago. Now they do score through Harry Kane, and maybe they have just laid a little foundation to trying to get back into this game. It's 3-1. That's a really good ball for Son, who's got to... Oh, he's so unfortunate. It's game on at Anfield. And it's Richarlison who's got round the back and scored! What a comeback by Tottenham. But for Liverpool, they wonder what could have been. Well, that's back towards Diogo Jota, who's inside the penalty area and scores! Absolutely incredible! Tottenham come from 3 down to 3-3 in stoppage time, only for Diogo Jota to come from nowhere and score for Liverpool and make it 4-3.
Taking you back there, memory lane. Tottenham versus Liverpool, a big one coming up. That's the toughest match for this weekend in the Premier League. We just saw earlier all the fixtures for this weekend, top 5 leagues in Europe, from Premier League down to French League 1. For the tough matches, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, a big battle any day. Jurgen Klopp in his press conference where he's ready for Tottenham Hotspur, even though he actually queried the fact that LA games in the Premier League is not too good. For Tottenham Hotspur, Postecoglou is also battle ready, even though he's also not too happy with the VAR, although he celebrated it when he was introduced, but right now it seems it's not favoring him. Talking about Tottenham manager there. Roma Juventus, tough match coming up in the Italian Serie A. Even though Inter Milan, Nerazzurri, they've done the business of winning the Scudetto, the teams are still trying to see how they can run the race to still stay top in the UEFA Champions League qualification, and also see how they can amass more points, at least in the Italian Serie A. For Roma and Juventus in the city of Rome, it's going to be a big battle between the old lady and Roma there. Well, for Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, tough match coming up between the two teams, and we know how tough it is for Liverpool, who really have been gunning for the Premier League title, but this time around, that thing is actually slipped out of their hand. Manchester City, Arsenal are now really battling to see who actually win that particular title. Well, tough one it is, but at least securing the Champions League is a good one for him, according to Jurgen Klopp, that getting that particular ticket is at least for him a big deal, and he's really happy for being able to scoop that particular ticket. Well, a tough match coming up there. Let's go back and look at those fixtures again in the Premier League, where fixtures are up for this weekend. Let's look at the fixtures together quickly before we wrap it up. I'm talking about the Premier League now, the fixtures in the Premier League. As we talk about matches coming up, the likes of Arsenal will be taking on Bournemouth, Fulham away to Brentford, while Newcastle will be away to Burnley. For Manchester City, it's a banana peel, as some people call it, against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Can they do it? It is very possible. We know they don't rest on their oars. Talking about Guardiola and his entire team, they don't joke at all when it comes to the end of the season. So against Wolverhampton Wanderers, this will not be banana peel at all for them. They are battle ready according to their players. Aston Villa away to Brighton, while Chelsea in the Battle of London against West Ham United. That's a tough one for them, although they were able to do it in last one they play while they actually won that game. For Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, another big match coming up there in that particular encounter. We've taken you through the world of sport for this weekend, in the world of basketball, tennis, not forgetting the UEFA Champions League, and also Fidi's appointment as Super Eagles coach. Also taking you through the fixtures coming up in the President Federations Cup in Nigeria, not forgetting the Nigerian National League, down to the top 5 leagues in Europe. But before we go, we'll be leaving you with this. That's to do with the NBA game that's to do, between LA Clippers, where they actually lost against Dallas Mavericks there. For you out there watching, I want to say thank you for staying with us to watch Weekend Sport on Trust TV. I'm Adeniyi Ajisafe. Thanks for watching. And special thanks to the man that joined us from Mina, Abdurrahman Shitu. Thanks so much for joining us. And right now, have a splendid weekend.
17 offensive rebounds for the Dallas Mavericks. Irving dancing, prancing, pulls up, three-pointer, bang! And a foul! Five to shoot. Against Harden. Doncic lines it up.